Hello, this is Jim Smith from Catapult Research. Today we're looking at Boeing, which is in the news. A couple of planes fell out of the sky and predictable result to the stock. Now, my question would be, could we have predicted this beforehand? To be honest, I never really looked at Boeing. I don't really care about the company or the stock. But since it's in the news, I thought I would look at the Gann lines to see what's going on. Now, it turns out a 1 by 1 is the 45-degree line. In this case, we're using a price unit of 1.25. What does that mean? It means that from this low back all the way in 1997, we move 1 month forward in time and 1.25 points up. So that's the slope. It's a scale of 1 by 1 that you set, and then that automatically becomes the slope of the 1 by 1. So the reason we chose 1.25 points per month is because you can see here this low sort of catches this high here, and this is also a 1 by 1. This low gave you a nice trend line. Over here it gave you a nice trend line. So the idea of the 1 by 1 is to capture the vibration of that particular stock. And you can see on a monthly time frame that's clearly what's happening here. If you were to draw a trend line, it wouldn't be too different from this actual 1 by 1 that we've created. In fact, if you can argue the point, the only difference between a trend line and a Gann line is that with Gann, we consciously are aware of the slope. Whereas most technicians, they draw a trend line, they don't really pay any attention. They just draw it. That's it. So they're not aware of the scale. But with Gann, we are. So with that in mind, let's go one step forward. You can see we still have these lines. What I've done here, though, I've also drawn what we call the zero price fan. From the low here, we start the fan up from zero, and this is the same slope. Remember, our scale is 1.25 points per month. And that gave us this low here, which shouldn't really surprise you because you see this was active back here and back here. It shouldn't surprise you that it should be active here too. So with that in mind, we now know we've captured the vibration, the rhythm of this particular stock, at least on the monthly time frame. And if we look at, let's take a close-up look at the zero price fan. You can see the 2 by 1, which is twice the slope. Instead of moving up 1.25 points per month, we're moving up 2.5 points. So 2 by 1, twice the slope. And so on, 3 by 1, 4 by 1, etc., 8 by 1. You have these different Gann lines. And you could also do 1 by 2. In other words, instead of 1.25 points per month, it's 0.625 points per month. So the slope is half of the 1 by 1. Hence, we call it the 1 by 2. Now, here's the deal. The high here on the 2 by 1, the high here on this Gann line, a low here on the 2 by 1, and if the day comes when this line gives way on weakness, I fully expect it to get back to the 1 by 1, which would be, if counting from that low back in March of 2009, 144 months forward, or 12 years, would take you to March of 2021. My theory is, and this may or may not work out, but if you take out this 2 by 1 line sometime this year, you'll probably continue down to test this line, and you'll probably bottom in sync with the 144 month cycle, which is a natural a termination cycle for Gann. A lot of bear markets end on 144 months. So if you go down 144 months from this low to this low is 144 months, and if you're finding support in price at 180, remember the scale is 1.25, So 144 times 1.25 is 180. That's how you get that figure. Now, here's the thing. If you take out this 2x1, anytime this year, you're probably going down here. And it's not guaranteed, but the way to look at it is that if you do get down there, and if it happens to be March of 2021, and you're making a low at 180 in price as you complete a 144-month cycle, in Gann's way of viewing that, he would say you have a time and price set up for a low. It's not to say that it's guaranteed to get down there, but if it does get down there, that's the time to think about buying it with a stop loss just below it. That's the theory. Now, one can argue, hey, maybe you'll find support here and you'll just keep going back up. That's always possible. We don't know for sure. But we can say that if this line gives way, you should start looking for a test of this line. It's already been tested once. It might be tested again. So that's a quick view of Boeing. And if you're interested in learning more about Gann, go to my website, catapultresearch.com, register. You'll get free past reports. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, Catapult Research, and at Catapult Research. So hope you've enjoyed this video, and hope you register to the website. You'll learn more about Gann.